Hi, welcome to CALLTIME. CALLTIME is an online video podcast where we invite professionals from the local media industry to share their stories and experiences. My name is Sofian and we are at our studio here at ITE College Central. So if you are a content creator or media student who wants to know more about the industry or how to start, maybe this show might give you a little bit more information about it. This show is also a platform for our students studying in Nitec in video production to gain experience in producing an online video podcast. So we appreciate all the support that you can give. So let's start. For this episode, I'm honored to present our guest, Sofian Samaan. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you,
taking
Sofian.
the time from your busy schedule.
No worries.
Now, Sofian has been in the film industry since the age of 16.
Yes.
But still looking young lah. Still looking young.
Thank you.
And you started out as a production assistant.
Yes, right.
And has worked through the ranks to where you are now. I think you're doing some director jobs.
Yeah.
And of course, you have been doing first AD for 11 years.
Yes.
11 years now for a lot of corporate companies.
Yeah. Mainly for commercials.
Mainly for commercials.
Yeah.
So before we discuss a bit more about your journey,
Okay.
right? Maybe we play a short film.
Yeah,
your
sure.
short film that you think edit or.
Which one is this?
Okay, let's see it first. Let's see it
Okay.
first.
Okay.
Let's play the first short film.
Saya ingatkan 2 minggu je. Tapi sekarang dah lebih setahun lah dekat Singapura. Nama saya Samsuri. Ada 7 adik-beradik, sudah berkahwin dan mempunyai seorang anak perempuan. Ni dah nak masuk 2 tahun dah umur. Ramadan tahun ni amat berbeza lah bagi saya sebab tak dapat berbuka semeja dengan keluarga. Jadi Ramadan tahun ni berbuka seorang je lah dekat Singapura ni. Ada juga masa fikir nak balik ke Malaysia masa family tengah down, rumah banjir, ayah kena stroke. Dan fikir pasal komitmen, ni perlumanan saya untuk family yang dekat sana. Dekat sini saya ada member beberapa orang yang senasib macam kita ni. Kita saling menasihati lah supaya semua kuat lah kat sini.
Misalnya kalau saya dapat balik semula, saya nak peluk mak bapak saya, mak mentua saya, bapak mentua saya. 3 bulan macam rasanya macam 3 tahun tak jumpa. Tanggungjawab lagi penting daripada benda ni semua. So berkut hati sajalah.
Selalu bagi tahu jumpa dia orang. Memang bagi tahu lah macam mana duduk sini, yang rindu dekat anak, isteri. Nak jumpa dia orang macam biasa dulu. Ulang-alik boleh hari-hari jumpa dengan dia.
Sebab selalu janji dengan dia nak balik kan. Semoga isteri kat sana semua kuat lah. Sabar tunggu kita balik.
Ni, main sini kawan.
Nak kenalkan ni ada 2 orang kawan ramai kat sini.
Ini kawan sekerja.
Makan hari ni.
Nak makan.
Main tadi, Pak.
Biasa masa Ramadan dulu.
Wow, this short film narration style drama is actually a commercial job.
Yes. So this is actually for McDonald's. It's actually for Ramadan. So it's actually one of my few proudest work lah.
How so?
Because this means something very important to me lah, in the sense where it's something very real, right? We're trying to capture all these honest emotions, and it was during COVID, right? I think it was 2-3 years ago. So I think it's something that everyone in the world kind of feel like can resonate with because of COVID. And then so this job is it was quite a personal journey in a sense, where it was one of my first biggest job as a director. So I directed this. The approach was to tell this staff, right, the three of them, that we are actually doing a documentary about people who cannot go back for Hari Raya, for Ramadan because of COVID, right? So I talked to them, asked them how is it like. Then I asked them, can you give me your contact for people at home in Malaysia and JB?
So McDonald kind of told you of these three staff.
Yeah. So McDonald's staff, McDonald's shortlisted a few of their staff to be featured. Of course, this is with an agency lah. It's Leo Burnett, and then the producing agency is Prodigious. So I approached them. Then I called the people in Malaysia, their family members, asked them how's it like, how's things there. Then we tell them that okay, so we're gonna do this like a surprise, like a buka puasa together thing, but it's going to be virtual lah. So we had a production support team from KL that drove down to JB to be my production support there lah. So there's a lot of things. There was a bit that's kind of like trial and error in terms of the job, because how do we make that seamless table, right? You know what I mean? Like you have a table here in Singapore, you have the table there in JB, right? So actually, the table in JB is a bit skewed. So because the ones that's closer to the camera is always bigger, right? So we make the one closer to the camera a bit narrower. Then it goes out like that, and then there's a circular one at the end.
It's the perspective, right?
Yeah. But filming this was also something very heartwarming for me. So when we are filming this, I can see my DOP, everyone's like tearing, you know, as they're like shooting the person, the profiles, like telling their stories, right? Because these are so honest and so real, right? That, you know, you can totally resonate with and totally feel for it.
How do you pick out the most emotional beats? Let's say in pre-production, you interview them. You have a list of questions, or you have an idea of what you want to do?
So for this kind of things, it's always important for you to kind of like meet the profiles first. So with that, you kind of like break the ice really, right? So you meet them, you introduce them who you are, and then they kind of like get to know you. They ask them these questions first lah. So ask how's it like, what's the struggles, what are you going through now. So from there, I kind of like know, okay, these are the points that, you know, I can possibly cover lah. But aside from such like documentary-like thing, so when I do casting for my own short films, for example, like a Zakat one that I just did. So usually I'll ask them during casting, like, you know, what's your saddest moment in your life so far? What have you been going through? So from this, like, they will tell me all their weak moments in a sense. So as a director, that you can kind of like know how to pull these emotions out of them. You know what I mean? So so coming back to McDonald's.
But
so,
is that something you learn? Where to pick out?
Yes, it's something I learned.
Yeah. How do you, for those writers, you know, aspiring writers out there, you know, who likes to write and wants to be, you know, trying to be a director to create their own short films, right? To show that human emotion. How do you bring out, how do you detect from that story, or, you know, when interviewing people, how do you detect, oh, this is the most effective?
I feel all these things are something that comes very naturally, right? Because these emotions that's quite difficult to kind of like mechanically kind of manufacture. So I feel that sometimes you don't need to think too much about what makes people feel a certain way. Like just when you write it or when you direct it, you know, what comes naturally for you. Like, do you think like this situation or this particular things that's happening to the person will kind of like create or a certain kind of emotion for the audience lah.
You said that this is your style. to resonate with clients and, you know, bring that humanistic sensibility and summon the onion cutting ninjas. you enjoy making people cry lah, actually, basically.
I don't know lah, because like as directors sometimes you get pigeonholed, right? So I kind of got pigeonholed into that. So a few of my short films are always like, you know, people nangis, I always cries, I watch your films, you know, that kind of thing.
But they like it, then you should, that's your strength, I guess.
Yeah lah, but you know, as a director, you always try to do something else to kind of like show your other sets of skills, right? Like for example, like eat nasi lemak. You're good at cooking nasi lemak, right? Yeah. But of course, after a while, you need to eat nasi biryani.
Variety lah.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
And also, like with a variety, it kind of shows like it also challenges you as a director to kind of like tackle different kind of like topics or different kind of genres.
But technically, in terms of production, what did you kind of learn from this experience, this commercial experience? You were saying that about working with Malaysian crew and the coordination and all that.
The Malaysian team that we got, I worked with them before. So I shot Panadol in KL. So they supported me when I was shooting there. So I just called them down to help me support in GB lah. So there's already a certain sense of trust with my Malaysian team. Yeah, and of course, before we shoot, we need to kind of like test that table, right? Like how.
Yeah.
So we did a
That's
projection.
the most challenging, I guess.
Yeah, of course, technically. So I had art director to Norman, who helped me make the table, and then we had a projection and see how to try to make it look seamless lah. But we try to make it as seamless as possible. But of course, during post-production, my online artists did a lot of cleanup, to make it look very, very seamless through the projection.
Yeah. So a lot of people like contributed lah.
Yeah, for sure. I feel filmmaking is always a collaborative process lah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, just to maybe share your awards. The history because you put in your bio, so I have to tell people. So several of your short film has won awards such as Cine 65, Best Film and Best Direction for The Red Packet.
Yes,
right?
It was one of my first few awards.
Yep, and MM2 Movie Maker Special Mention Award for Unspoken, and CMPA Viewers Choice Award for Child.
Yeah, that's my
that
first.
time Cathay, I think it's Cathay, right? CMPA is Cathay.
Cathay.
Yeah, that time there was. Yeah.
The prize is like actually the best.
Yeah.
So they give you this card, right? That you can watch a movie for a year. So any movie, any movie you want to watch, you can get 2 tickets.
This
CMPA, but I don't think they have the competition anymore. So
That's
they give you
right,
like a cash prize and also this card. So I don't care too much about the cash prize. But the card was the thing that was like to me like the best gift lah. Because as a movie goer, like you can just like anytime, no, nothing to do. Let's go to the movie. What movie to watch? Just try this on. Just watch. Nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The good thing about CMPA, if I remember, I participated as well. They allow you to shoot in any of their Cathay-owned location.
Yes.
So that's the good thing for filmmakers like us who just starting out, right? We can just shoot at Cathay, the shopping
But it
center.
was also, I think it was a time duration thing. It was like 72 hours or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
within that time. Yeah lah, so difficult lah. Enter competition with this guy. Then how to win? That's why I don't even get special mention. That's why. But congrats on the achievement.
Thank you.
3 words that you hold close to your heart: passion, dedication, humility.
Yes.
Maybe care to explain a bit more about that?
I think if you're in this industry, of course, the key thing that drives you is passion, right? Yeah. Because I think if you don't have a passion to be in the industry, then I don't think you're cut out for it, right? I think I feel like I'm so blessed to be able to do what I'm doing, right? Because every day is something fun, you know what I mean?
You experience different things.
Yes, exactly.
Meet
Different kind of
people.
jobs. Yeah. What's the other one?
The other one is dedication, humility.
Oh, dedication. Yeah. So to be successful in whatever you do in life, you always have to put in a certain kind of work and dedication to it, Yeah. And humility is the most important, I feel, because I feel it's important to be humble, to realize that that everyone have their own sets of issues and problems also, right? So you need to try to be understanding of whatever is going on,
and
and
some
always
empathy, I guess.
Of course, that's very important.
Nice.
Yeah.
We would like to show another of your
Sure.
short film or commercial job,
Okay.
right? And then we'll discuss more about it.
Okay.
So let's play that next one.
Aisyah. Nurul, Ahmad, tolong bersihkan ni. Saya is 30. I want on of the top. 1 + 2 + 1 is 3.
Ibu tu, kalau tak sibuk tolong orang, sibuk aja tuition. Dah lah, free pula tu. Ya, waste money kan tolong orang. Kan best kalau ibu belikan kita mainan. Anak bungut, anak bungut, anak bungut, anak bungut, anak bungut, anak.
Awak tak ada rumah ke? Sama dah dengan kita.
Hi, I saw your job posting on the newspaper. Is it still available?
I will let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Uncle, can I apply for a job here? Excuse me, can I work here?
No.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Wow, nice your wallet. Want to sell?
Hi, I'm a student from school nearby, helping the needy. Cik.
Are you okay? Awak Aisyah kan? Anak angkat Cik Zainab. Saya Sulaiman. Saya selalu pergi tuition kat rumah awak dulu. Wallet awak terjatuh tadi. Sebab tu saya kejar awak.
Terima kasih.
Kenapa awak tidur kat situ tadi? Bukankah awak duduk dengan abang dan kakak angkat awak?
Ibu.
Kak, ingat aku dapat dua bahagian.
Tak kisahlah nak apa pun. Tapi ingat rumah ni kakak punya.
Kau keluar dari sini Aisyah. Keluar sekarang. Aku tak nak tengok muka kau lagi.
Aisyah nak tinggal mana?
Kalau bab harta, orang selalu kata bahagi ikut faraid. Tapi lupa bab tanggungjawabnya. Actually, Cik Zainab lah inspirasi saya untuk bantu orang lain.
Sulaiman ni budak yang baik. Selalu tolong kawan-kawan. Ni.
Cik Zainab.
Tak apa. Esok jangan lupa pergi ke masjid ya. Dapatkan bantuan zakat.
Baiklah. Terima kasih banyak-banyak. Kami balik dulu ya.
Dan saya betul-betul kesian dengan awak Aisyah. Kalau saya boleh suggest, apa kata awak pergi Muiz untuk dapatkan bantuan zakat?
Puan Aisyah, ini bantuan zakat untuk Puan. Ini bantuan sementara, tapi awak boleh juga minta bantuan daripada pemerintah. Terima kasih. Sama-sama.
Daripada kita lahir, sampailah kita tutup mata nanti. Duit, harta benda, kita tak boleh bawa mati. Cuma amal kebaikan kita yang akan jadi bekalan dekat akhirat nanti.
Kat mana saya nak bayar zakat fitrah?
Mama,
Ya?
dulu Mama tinggal Samson Drive
Mana dia jumpa ni?
In this box. Ni keluarga angkat Mama
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You start off straight away into the money shot. How? That's my first question. How do you do it?
So we have a Ronin, and we have a cherry picker that goes on top, and then we had a pulley system. So basically, have the ropes on the two sides, and then so it's a pulley down. Yeah, with the Ronin, so the DOP can control the camera.
Then the rain and the
so the rain has to go from the top down, so it cannot be from underneath the camera, right? So it has to fall above the camera. Down.
So it's I'm guessing
Yeah,
the
of course
camera
it's
all
protected,
is
yeah.
protected as well.
Yeah.
So for a good production like this, in a few words, what is the recipe?
What's the recipe?
Yeah. If
Wow, there's
for
no
those of
recipe,
you,
man.
for those students or media students who say, okay, I want to make roughly like this or towards it.
Okay.
What's the recipe here for you?
To me, I'm blessed to be able to do this because this is my third one with Zakat, right? So my first was Nenek Keropok, and last year was Saya Kaya, and this year is Anak Pungut. So it was with Weave production. So I always try to push the visuals and push the production quality of every job that I do with them. So to me, I always push the producers lah. So I say I want rain. Cannot lah, Sufyan. So but it'd be nice, It'd be nice, right? Yeah, nice lah, but cannot lah, Sufyan. Can lah, we find a way lah. You tell me what I cannot do. Maybe I don't have 30 extras lah. You give me 10 lah. You know what I mean? So
there's a negotiation.
Yeah.
So
to me, I just try to push the visual as much as possible lah. So to me, what I like about producers is that don't tell me cannot first. You try. You try and then tell me, then we can negotiate lah. You tell me, Sufyan, we cannot have the rain because it's too expensive. Okay, then we shoot on a smaller camera. You know what I mean?
See.
Yeah.
There's always you can always discuss. There's always a solution.
Yeah. So I think as a director, you also need to be fair lah. Because budgets in Singapore is not something that we can get in Hollywood or that kind of thing, right? So you also need to kind of understand the position of the producers and trying to manage the budget lah. So to be, like I say, it's a collaborative process, right? You cannot be like, oh, I want this, right? And then but the budget cannot.
Yeah.
So you always need to find that conversation and room for negotiation of how to make things work.
That's good, the communication part. So for those students who are learning the craft and wanting to get into the industry or one step in, what's your advice? How do you do it and how would you advise them?
How did I do it? So my story is a bit long. I'm sure we have
Okay.
so I was blessed to have Royston Tan as my drama teacher when I was in school. So in Sec 3 and Sec 4, she was my drama teacher. So Royston opened me to this world of filmmaking, right? So from there, then I start doing PA work for Zawai. So then from there, I start to grow in the industry. So I feel for students who wants to join in the industry, you can either go through your internship, right? That's one. That's a very good way. And another way is if you want to do it on your own, on your free time, you can always email production houses, because I'm sure a lot of production houses are always in need of production assistants, or maybe like a junior grip. You know what I mean, or like a junior camera assistant.
But what are they looking for when you email them? What do you want to kind of
just introduce yourself? Like for example, like hi, I'm Sufyan. I'm a ITE student currently in Nitec. Serving my first year, for example, right? Let's say I'm actually serving my holidays during this period. I was wondering if you have any jobs to let me know. I can do PA work. Yeah.
Cannot straight away director,
I think
of course.
I think there's always a due process. I'm not saying that everyone needs to go through that journey from PA all the way till the director, but it gives a benefit where you can know from the bottom up. There's a lot of directors that I know that started out and then started directing, right? Because they already have the talent to do it. There's no right and wrong way to do it, but I feel if you're still learning in school, it's always good to try and observe and take up a lower position like a junior grade or like a PA.
Understand the process.
Understand the process. Experience being on set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes what you learn in school and when you are on set is something like a different process, right? Because then you can experience you know what I mean? Like learning how to swim. You read the book how to swim, but you never jump yourself into the sea or in the swimming pool. You never really know how to swim. You know, in that sense.
Yeah.
So just try to experience set life. How is it everything going to be like?
Okay. Any funniest or weirdest experience on set that you can share with us?
Okay. So like I told you, I started PA when I was 16, right? So I didn't go to film school. So we were shooting in film, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't know, like when you shoot in film, the AD will say check gate, basically to check whether the film is okay before they move on, right? So I, who don't know anything about film, I ran to the gate and I shouted to the AD, the gate is open! Everyone was like, huh? What gate is open? Yeah, Carl shouted, check gate one.
That's the passion coming in.
Yeah.
That's the passion and dedication happening.
They're
right
like,
now.
oh, okay, I know. Another time is Alan Yap, the DOP, asked me, hey, someone wipe camera. I go to him with a good morning towel. Alan, you want to wipe camera, right? No lah, walk past the camera lah. No wipe camera. So, okay.
But this experience make you remember.
Yeah.
And also learn. Next time don't bring that morning towel is different. For different purposes.
Exactly.
Nice. Okay, so for writers, we going back to that commercial, right? How do you write dialogues that sound natural when we see it? When the
I
audience
have to
sees
give
it?
a disclaimer that I'm not a good writer.
Okay.
So basically, this Zakat short film was written by the Weave writer himself. And then when I came in, I came in with the visuals. You know what I mean? Like how I see the story, right? So for the dialogues, we did a rough dialogue. But then the client helped us to amend the dialogue to make a bit more conversational. And also I like to do workshops with the talents. So when they workshop, when they read the lines, they will tell you like what feels natural and what feels.
So before the shoot itself, you have a few sessions, is it?
I have a fitting session. So basically, I get them to wear the wardrobe, to test how they look like, and then also to do a workshop to kind of develop the chemistry, especially between the two talents, Aisha and Sulaiman, for them to bounce the dialogue together and see how it kind of flows.
Recently, you told us that last question. Recently, you told us that you got into went to work for a company You signed for a company from a freelance, doing it freelance for a few years, many years, right? So why the change? And what's the difference?
Firstly, honestly, the change is because of family Because in the freelance world, of course, sometimes the money is good, right? But then when jobs not coming in, then financial is not stable, right? So the main thing for going back to full time is stability, But what's the difference is that in freelance, you can kind of have a lot more free time with the family in a sense, right? Because you only work when there's jobs, right? When there's no jobs, when there's allowed for you get to spend time with your family, you get to go out on weekdays, and settle all that. But a full-time job gives you a routine. You know what I mean? Like Monday to Friday you work, Saturday sometimes you have shoot, but most of the weekends, thankfully, I'm okay, right? Yeah, and I think full-time also challenges you to kind of take on loads that you won't actually take up when you're a freelancer. For example, I was doing a job for MOH with MM2, and then suddenly there was a brief for McDonald's McSavers. So it was a briefing on a Wednesday. I need to give the treatment by Thursday.
Wow.
So if I were a freelancer, I would say no, I cannot. The timeline is too tight for me. I got other job to do. But as a full timer, it kind of pushes you to kind of be able to deliver all this. So I delivered the treatment on Thursday. The job was awarded on Friday, and then the show was happening a week plus later.
Wow.
Yeah. So all these tight timelines, kind of pushes you as a full timer.
For those entering the industry, should be mentally prepared or at least enjoy the adrenaline rush.
That's the thing I love about filmmaking is what adrenaline, especially on set, right?
Yeah, and then trying to be creative and trying out new things to make the story work. All right, we have come to the end of the show. If you guys, I know it's quite short, right? It feels short here. If you guys have any questions, of course, we are uploading this.
Okay.
Please comment any questions, and we try to answer. And maybe in the next season, next episode, you can come back again and continue part 2.
Sure.
Hopefully.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming and sharing your experiences and stories. So thank you everyone for watching our pilot series called CALLTIME, a show where media students and those with a passion on content creation can listen to stories shared by Sophian and other industry professionals. This show was brought to you by ITE College Central, Nitec in video production. For your information, this show is entirely produced by students. So thank you for supporting us and allowing the students to learn through this experience. If you found this show informative and helpful, please do please share, and of course subscribe to our YouTube channel and all our social media platforms. By saying that, thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
See you again.